Hi, everyone. This is Gary Wilson. Welcome to this week's live Path to Profit webinar. Welcome aboard to all the students, wherever you are, and across the U.S., California to Maine, and Canada, Montreal, Toronto, and all the way down to Florida, even the Bahamas. Just a couple of quick admin things. Some of you are relatively new. You've just signed on in the last week or so. This may be your first webinar. If it is, the way it works is this: everybody is in mute mode by default, because we can have 100 some odd people speaking at the same time. However, you'll see in your question box that you can type in questions there. So I'm going to type in one right now, asking if you can see our screens. Can you see, or Tim's screen, excuse me, Tim's, whoops, screen, and hear our voices. So if you could respond to that, that'll tell me that everybody's okay on the technology end of things. And we're looking pretty good. Hot diggity dog. Okay, another couple things here, real quick. Every day we do a webinar. We do these every week. They're always live. They are recorded. This is being recorded now, and you'll get the recording the very next day. So if you're not live, you're going to hear this in recorded mode, of course. Regardless, always check the emails from Beverly, guys, because it gives you valuable information on updates to the systems, updates to the material, on the schedule coming up, and whenever we have a special guest like Tim Rhode, who'll introduce here in a minute. Tim Rhode, excuse me. Also, you want to look for not just look for the webinar schedule, but on my schedule, you can always check the events tab on myinvestmentservices.com to see where I'll be. I'm in Columbia, South Carolina right now, back home, and had some good old fashioned Southern cooking a little while ago. Collard greens, green beans, fried chicken, pecan pie, and of course, if you're up north, we call it pecan pie, but down south here we call it pecan pie. In any case, I'm having a great time. I'll be with another one of our Go Abundance brothers, Adam Roach, next week down in Charleston, down in Hilton Head, up in Myrtle Beach, and I'll see another one of my cousins, Randall Shannon's an agent down there at Carolina One. So, in any case, welcome aboard to all of you. Look for the information from Beverly. We really do appreciate when you keep up to date with that. And also, you can use the question box to type in your questions. Okay. Hang on, I'm going to expand your screen. Somebody just said that looks like it's a little bit loose. Now it should be bigger. And you can expand your screen too, Tim, on your computer.
Okay.
You can do that. Maybe click the square box or something. I'm not sure how that works, but in any case, what I want to do, guys, is go ahead and introduce Tim Rhode. He's a fellow Go Abundance Mastermind group member. We call ourselves brothers. Lives way out in Lake Tahoe, and he's famous for getting the goods in the woods. He's a great outdoorsman, a great humanitarian, has a great organization called One Life Fully Lived. In fact, he's putting on an event here. Some of you have already heard about it, coming up in a couple of weeks in June. So I want, Tim, if you could, I want to introduce you. I want you to talk about that also before we're done. And Tim has a rich history, guys, in brokerage and investing in real estate. He's going to share with us some of his golden nuggets of wisdom. And if you're ever wondering who do you listen to, Tim's one of the guys because he lives the dream. Success leaves clues. He's going to share some of his secrets with us. And if you want to participate, just pay attention. He'll show you what to do and hopefully share some information with you at the end as far as how to contact him and get information on One Life Fully Lived. Great organization, helps entrepreneurs. In fact, I'll just let Tim talk more about that. So Tim, welcome aboard, man. We really thank you for taking your precious time to do this. I know it's just about dinner time for you. And I just appreciate you being on board, and it's wonderful to hear your voice again,
Hey, it's my sincere pleasure, Gary. I hope to give value to your listeners and help as many as they can, as I call it, find their Oz. We're all just looking for how can we live the most fulfilling, close to who we are at our core life that we can. And that's what I'm all about. And that's what One Life Fully Lived and Go Abundance is all about, because that's what it is I look at this triangle of, if you can be doing on one end, where is your talent? On the other end of the bottom end of the triangle is where's your passion, and on the top, where's their opportunity. If you can align those three things, that's fulfillment. And fulfillment is success with depth. So to me, that's what life is all about.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I kind of like to take you guys kind of on the ride of my journey that might help some of you, because I know all of you are in different levels. And Pat Hyben, my good friend, he wrote a book called 6 Steps to 7 Figures, and he runs Rebus University, and he has kind of coined this thought process of there's 5 levels of a real estate mogul. The first one is you just become aware and you want to get in the game. The second one is you own a house and a rental or something. And the third one is you're moving up. You're, maybe done an exchange or two, and you, or maybe own a small units. The fourth one is you're doing syndicates and apartments and raising money. And the fifth level, you're kind of at the hedge fund where you're raising major money. And I'm sure there's a lot of people on this call at all of those levels. And it's just a game to a lot of us is how far can we go with it.
Right.
So my journey started back in like 1997, and I was selling real estate, and I owned some properties. I was already rocking and rolling, but we'd been in a long downturn where I wasn't very profitable, and I was living in a place where I really didn't want to live, in the Central Valley of California. And I always wanted to live in the mountains, and I wanted to live somewhere with an inspiring view, and I wanted to be getting the goods in the woods, and I wanted to be close to family and friends, and run a charity and do something to give back and to help other people find theirs. And I wanted to set things up to where my making money and investing was so simple that was going to be like 5 to 10% of my wheel of where I spend my time. So
Okay.
as I stated in the handout, it all started with a dream, and I'm in the Central Valley. I'm not liking where I am. I was kind of overweight and just overstaffed, and my business wasn't doing so good. So, and at that point, I wrote a plan that I wanted to be 10 years from now living in the mountains in an inspiring place and doing the things I just laid out. And so that's step one is to kind of lay out your dream and where do you want to be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? What's it look like? And what are you willing to give up to get there? And that first step also takes an audit of where you are, financially, what's coming in, what's going out, what's left to invest. Are you putting away money every year? Are you still working on debt reduction? Where are you right now in all of that? How well do you know your financial ABCs? We call them the One Life ABCs. And A is what's coming in income-wise from all sources. B is what does it cost you a month to live? And where's your leakage? Where are you wasting money that you can change and have more go to your C? What's left for either, hopefully not for you, debt reduction. Hopefully you're on the positive side of the ledger and you're putting away a massive amount and investing a lot wisely. And that's the first step is awareness and having a mindfulness of what I call it. If you look at the top, it says operating, quote, the business of your life. And if any of you have read the book, The E-Myth, that's what they talk about, the business of running your business, and that's the entrepreneurial myth. This is the business of running your life. And not a lot of people are taking that on proactively and making sure they're healthy in their mind, body, and spirit, and doing all the right things to play their game full out. So that's kind of the premise, the dream, and that's where it all starts. And then the next part is the plan, the written plan of where will you be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now? What's your vision of what does it all look like? How will your life be different? And maybe it won't be that different. For many of you, we're just talking tweaks in all of this. For some of you, you need and I say this lovingly, you need a freaking overhaul, and you're kind of leaking the oil to going down the wrong road, and that's where that audit can help you. And sometimes, I don't want to sound cold or anything, but sometimes it's good to just get a nice little slap upside the head saying, hey, I'm not going down the right path. And that's where I was in 1997 when I wrote this plan, by the way. So I say that with
Awesome.
love. Yeah.
Hey,
So,
Tim, a quick
yeah.
question, great question for one of our students. Would you mind just later tonight when we're done, send this to me in an email, and I'll have Beverly send this out to the students tomorrow who are watching, so they can because
Yeah,
what I was asking.
I'll also have a few other docs that we'll include that'll help your students immensely.
Awesome.
Because like I said, they're all at different places, and I have some other
Yeah.
things that are just good things that helped me back then. That if I were them, I'd want now. So
Well,
yeah,
that's awesome. I appreciate that.
yeah. And by the way, if you just stop me or ask me any question, but I'm just going to keep rolling through this, and it's probably like 20 minutes, half hour. Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, let's just kind of, and if you have questions along the way, let me know. But this is kind of like, the steps that I took and the things that in the business of one's life and just the financial piece of it. And there's so many other pieces. This is a good game plan. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So I had the dream, and then which was the compelling, magnificent future of where am I going to be living? What am I going to be doing? And write out something that's worthy of, that makes you want to get up every day and say, let me at them because I want this so bad. And when you don't want to prospect or do that difficult thing that you hate to do, you're thinking of that magnificent future that you're building for yourself. So here's a three keys. Think it's a marathon, not a sprint. All of your actions are based on the long-term plan. So you do a 10-year vision. Let's say you're 27 years old and you're listening to this. Where will you be at 40? Would be a good age. If you're listening to it at 32, maybe it's where will you be at 40. If you're 41, where will you be at 50? Okay, or something. You guys kind of get what I'm saying. So you lay out more of a long term. Mine was in 1997, and I wanted to be up here by 2007, and we were done at 2005.
Hmm.
So I had the long-term plan, and then I did a one-year plan in December every year. I critique the plan before and then write the next year's plan based on the long-term plan. And then once a month, I'd lay out, what do I need to get done this month towards this year, towards the long-term plan? What do I need to get done this week? And then every day there was, who do I need to call? Who do I need to see? What do I need to do? And what am I doing today that leads towards this week, towards this month, towards this year? And just work your plan daily. Think of your self-employed. And the one thing I didn't do well during all this period was my self-talk was really rough. I had how you have these different voices in your head. I had a boss that I worked for, and he was a freaking jerk. And it was kind of like, I don't feel like prospecting today. Hey, shut up and get on the phone. Show me something. You haven't done anything. Come on, And my self-talk wasn't good, but I did the things I needed to do that I didn't want to do because my plan was so compelling. And I wish you guys could, anyway. And then the third thing is set up key performance indicators to maximize production. A lot of you are in sales or in already in the investing world. What would be a good year? What would be so?
Yeah.
And I can set an idea of that over from when I was selling real estate. And then the next step is earn more. Those financial ABCs. The first step is offense. How do I earn? Increase your income by using the key performance indicators. When I sold real estate, I couldn't control how many houses I sold. I could control how many days did I work, how many dollar productive hours did I work, how many listing appointments did I go on, and how many calls did I make a month. Those 4 things I could control. Those led to me getting listings, which led to sales, which led to closings, which led to more investments. So, I focus highly on dollar productive activities. I found people to delegate more menial tasks, whether you're listing, selling, investing, trying to do both. I always believed in freeing me up to do what I do best in the supply chain, which is meet with people, talk to people, sign contracts. Where are we going with this? All the rainmaker, big picture stuff. That's where I want to spend my time. Yeah. Also take advantage of today's technology and social networking. There just wasn't as much of that back in the day when I was doing stuff. And then everything is simple, effective, productive systems. You're testing what's working, what's not. If it's not working, question everything. Get rid of it. Don't hang on to stuff that doesn't work. It's okay. It was a good idea at one point. It's not anymore. So I hope you guys are with me so far. When I'm live with people at this point, I say, let me see a show of hands. How many of you really want your dream? I mean, how many of you really want to live, a life worthy of kings and queens, the best life you can have? Well, if you do, you got to play great defense. This is step 4. And you guys, this is where I'm really passionate about, is because
You definitely just struck a chord with Anil from Fort Mill, South Carolina, which is just over the state line from Charlotte. And the answer is me, 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 me. In other words, do you want to be the king or the queen? And
yeah, right on, dude.
What's
Well,
amazing
this is
is my mastermind group members. We just went through this exercise in the last, probably month and a half. There's 13 of them, and everyone I've taken them through the vision exercise, the goal exercise, the actions database, the planning exercise, almost identical to what you have. You create your plan, you work your plan, annual,
it's just
monthly, weekly, daily, and I promise you guys, man, you do what Tim's telling you. So if you remember, I've always said success leaves clues. So here you got another guy talking about the same exact thing, and I will tell you, it's not just him, it's not just me. David
and
Osborne, Paul Morris.
we didn't compare notes before this call to see, that's amazing, Gary. That's cool. Yeah. You know what it is we both do the simple fundamentals. It's just the ABCs, and it's not rocket science. It's just repeating good, simple habits every day.
That's it, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So this defense, you guys, this is the piece that most miss. I've coached people who made $1 million a year for 15 years before I met them and didn't have anything to show them. I talked to a lady who was making, she knew she made around 800,000 a year, but she spent somewhere between 600 and 1.2 million. She really wasn't sure. And she showed up to the appointment with a freaking garbage bag full of receipts. Like, I'm going to go through it like I'm some freaking accountant or something. And she had no idea of what's going out. And this is so important. There's so many, so many want to get, the me guy. If you want to get there, this is the piece that as your income goes up, 30%, your expenses only go up 10 to 15%. You invest the excess profits wisely. You look, where's your leakage? You monitor, what's going in, what's going out. And for both your business and personal, track monthly, reviewed quarterly, and as much as you can, get rid of all your crap debt. Gary, you're familiar with the game cash flow?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That game, you guys, when I was going from, small investor, when I was going from level 2 of Pat's List, I owned a few rentals, to level 4 where I am now. I'm not an Osborne hedge fund level, but I'm part of syndicates and stuff. But when I was going from 2 to 4, I played that game. Even from 1 to 4, I played that game cash flow every quarter with a group, and then we'd get out our own balance sheet and looked at how is it growing. And I'll send you over I used to handwrite my balance sheets of this is what these are my rentals, this is what my net worth is with all, all the properties I own and stuff, and this is what the monthly cash flow is, and what will both go up by the next time I play this game with these people. So it's just I'm playing the game to learn it more, and then I'm playing the game in real life. And some of you, I know there's people that are listening to this that are working full time and have busy lives, and you're not able to do it. That's it's funny because that's part of the challenge while you're doing this. And I wrote this a little further in here is the challenge of all this is to juggling, your busy life while you're trying to make all of this happen. So, but I highly recommend Kiyosaki's cash flow game. So
yeah, I agree. You know what, Tim? It's a couple things. I actually bought that also for my children, cash flow for kids, way back when they were kids, and played it with them. And they had the best time. One of the neighbors' kids was actually the best at it, and it was a real surprise. He just blew everybody away. But the key lesson there, guys, is and they've all heard me say it before. And I can help you build wealth and income with your license and in your real estate and your investing in real estate. But that becomes the easy part. Once you learn how to build wealth and income, remember, success leaves clues. The challenge is hanging on to it, because our minds want to, it's just the way we're wired. It takes discipline. It really takes discipline and a real, you gotta really be serious about your dream so you can hang on to what you've got and keep investing in yourself. Your own self-training, like Masterminds, so forth, and also buying properties. So the more you learn, the more you earn. I will never ever stop learning, and I will tell you, I've been up and down before. And when I was down before, it's because I got so comfortable making so much money. I ignored the expense side, it was just years ago when I finally realized, I said, this is crazy. I'm just treading water. I'm just treading deeper water,
Yeah.
So I got real serious, real intentional about the expense side, got rid of a lot of the crap that didn't do anything for me other than cost a lot of money and time and energy. And and so Tim, just so you know, I think I told you this before. I completely eliminated all of my debt back December 15th, 2015.
Yep.
So
I remember when you were going through.
amazing sense of freedom. You talk about living free, man.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah. So a lot of things are coming to mind. First of all, I want to wrap up step number 4, defense wins championships. Listen to what Gary said. The time that he had a rough time is when he quit paying attention to that. And a lot of people in our world got their butts, including me, including David Osborne, including Pat Ivan. Everybody got a chunk out of their butt in 2007. And someday that's coming again. And if your boat isn't seaworthy, you're going to take on water and you may get capsized. So, a few of you may be listening to this going, you know what, they're speaking to me. Really find wise counsel to turn that stuff around, because it's really important, you guys. Debt sucks. Bad debt sucks. And just maybe you bought some properties that just weren't the best ones, and you need to make some tough decisions, but you want to make those. And then I want to say one other thing. Gary, you're at a wonderful level, and so few of us get there in life. And you guys, I want you to just hear, what he said of he got rid of everything, and now he has a simple life. Gary, I'm in the same place. I've been there for some time where I don't personally invest in anything. All I do is invest in other people's stuff. And I water ski in their wake. So I spend so little time, and it frees me up to this magnificent world called I get to do what I want to do. And and I know you can relate to that. And you guys, I hope that doesn't, I'm just trying to give you hope and a vision of what can be for you, so. Yeah.
Well, I show them this stuff, Tim. And we get together every quarter, the mastermind group, and I always, like Pat Highband's going to be on next month. I've had several of the guys on over the years, and just a wonderful experience from to see that, we're you and I both, neither one of us are born with a silver spoon in our mouth. I mean, some of the guys were, but they're good custodians of what they got. We had to
Right.
figure that stuff out on our own, and everybody. I mean, if there's probably most people on this call here are way in better shape than I am as far as what they had to start with early on. I mean, my starting point was not good.
Yeah.
I didn't have the wealth of knowledge and the wealth of money in my family to teach me to listen. I had bad uh, programming in the beginning. My mother's side of the family was basically living paycheck to paycheck, nickel to nickel, and at the end there was nothing left. And my dad's side of the family, generation prior, was actually sort of wealthy, but they came through the depression, and their thing was, don't show it, don't use it, don't let anybody know you have it. It's going to go all this bad programming. Had it on
Yeah.
both
Like
ends.
a poverty mentality.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it's a lot of, I had a lot of bad programming too as a kid. My dad's classic line was, he was a teacher, and his line was, look, I only have $12 for the rest of the month. And that was on the third of the month. So, I got off to a really slow start. I barely graduated high school. I never went to college. And at 25, I was a part-time grocery clerk painting addresses on people's curbs to buy diapers for my two small kids.
yeah,
And then fortunately, I found my niche selling real estate. I was really good. I really cared. My income soared. My expenses stayed low. I learned all I could about investing in real estate. Everything I wrote here is just basically the steps that I took to go from, part-time broke grocery clerk scrounging for money to, living a life that most can only, wish for. And then I'm just really, really blessed and humbled, and that's why I want to give back and help so much.
awesome.
So let me finish this up if you don't mind. Okay,
Yeah,
Gary.
go
All
right
right.
ahead.
So step one is the dream. Step two is the plan. Step three is increase your income through offense. Step four is monitor what's coming in, going out, do an audit, look where your leakage is, and play defense. Watch your money. Okay, can't say that enough. Step five is developing this second set of income, and that's the wealth building side. So you're making your income on one hand, and you're investing it wisely. Start small. Find single family homes, duplexes, do notes. There's still incredibly low interest rate. Back when I first started, the rates were I got a 12.5% and was glad it wasn't 13 and a quarter. So the
Yeah,
challenge, and I said it before, is how do you make all this happen while juggling your busy world? And I wrote, find the time. You are worth it. This is the business of your life. Okay. And then if you're in the trenches, study market trends to know when to buy and when to sell. I bought a lot of real estate up until 1990. I barely bought any between 90 and 97. I bought a ton of real estate from 97 to 2005, and I sold 17 properties with 52 tenants in 2000, from 2005 to 2007, right into the Cali craze, and just nailed it. And I did that because I studied the local MLS, and that's all. Number 7 was all the things I studied, and we graphed. So,
yeah.
um, so I ask yourself, where do you think we are in this cycle now? I still think there's more to run. Yeah, I look around. I don't know, in your town, there's still construction going on. When yeah. So anyway, that's a good question. And then the last step is exchange to World 3, and that's just step up your game. And if you look at the Kiyosaki game cash flow, you're doing the big deals rather than the small deals. And the goal is to, just like in the game of cash flow, have your passive income replace your earned income. And then that's exactly where you talked about, Gary. You have the freedom to do what you want. I took some CCIM classes. There's other things you can do to best learn that step. Find your investing niche. Like I bought a building lease to AutoZone, I got a building lease to Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and then we started doing the apartments with Andrew, and that's our DAPT project. Maybe bulk distressed properties or notes, and then keep all tightly managed. Everything, to me, everything is simple, effective systems, and don't try to do everything. My good friend Byron McBroom says it's tough enough to roll one wheelbarrow up a hill. Imagine trying to roll three. And a lot of us, we have very, very fertile minds, and we can do a lot. That doesn't mean we should do a lot. So think about that. Where are you? You know, all that glitters is not gold. Where are you chasing rainbows when there's something right in front of you that's boring, but it's just your play? And if you just make that play over and over and over, it's the play, you know.
Yep.
So, and maybe sometimes there's also a use by date where that play's not working anymore. And you got to find a new gold mine, you know. So
Yeah. There's a great book called 3 Feet from Gold. Greg Reed wrote it,
yeah,
and he had help from Sharon Lecter, who helped Robert Kiyosaki write all his Rich Dad books. And his Greg's book was sanctioned by the Napoleon Hill Foundation back in 2009. I actually went to the red carpet event down in Anaheim to roll it out. And what the subject is. It's just like the one book on Field of Diamonds. What
yeah,
what it says is everything you really need to take your very best next step is literally right in front of you, you know, within 3 feet. It's sometimes the
yeah,
people you know, the
yeah,
material you have, the study from other people, the learning. That's usually mostly where it is. But the opportunities of how you can serve others, it always comes back to serving others, man. That's just the better, the more successful I become, Tim, the more common that is amongst people at the higher levels is um, they serve others. They find a way to serve others, you know?
yeah. I break that down to two words: just care.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of a lost art today. The art of really giving a crap about making sure you come through. If you say you're going to do something, you freaking do it. And when we sold real estate, I had a team, you know, early on, and I'd go out and sell, and then I let my team know what was important to our customers, and I wouldn't take overpriced listings. And my slogan was call Tim Rhode and start packing. And that was a way of life. That was just, you know, the way we did business was we were efficient. And when the inevitable problems came up, we either solved them or got the escrow done. You know, it just wasn't meant to work. We didn't, you know, get on needless tons of phone calls of whose fault is this? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, I was going to say something before, and I flashed back on it. I forgot it was as all of this is a lifestyle. You know, this developing your world too, and this financial freedom. It's kind of like a lot of people want to be super fit and healthy, but they have, you know, a quart of dryers at night or don't get up and exercise and do the things. And it's not like going on a diet to be super fit. You got to live a fitness lifestyle, and to be super fit wealth wise, you got to live a wealth building lifestyle. So it's just a mindset, and you know what that mindset includes is being you know, having a little bit of the wealthy barber in you. We personally, unless you make a ton of money, you know, if you make a ton of money, live full out. But I don't know about you, Gary. Along the way, I live in a beautiful 5,000 square foot castle with a freaking elevator now. It's the only splurge we've ever had. I've driven 4 cars since the 80s. I don't care about. I just roll down the highway, and if it can get me, you know, to the goods in the woods and doesn't break down, I'm good. You know,
Yeah.
so that is the mindset. Let somebody else buy the boat. You buy the beer and the gas, and you're very generous. You buy extra beer and extra gas because they got a lot of payments. And all of you that own boats are shaking your head, going, "Yeah, you know."
Yeah.
So be that person. Let the others own the stuff that Madison Avenue makes you think you need. You don't need any of that stuff. You know, that's not what makes you a great human. It's who you are inside. So
Yeah. Well, I learned a long time ago, if I really want to experience the thrill of driving a Ferrari, just go rent one for a day. Don't buy it because you want the thrill. You don't really want the payment and all the headaches that go along with owning a Ferrari. And I don't I you, was it Iraq did this 2 years
all
ago,
right.
3 years ago up at
Yeah.
Montreal. And we all went up there and raced Ferraris and Lamborghinis and Corvettes and had a jolly old time at the racetrack. And end of the day, we had our thrill. And of course, I appreciate Ferraris, but I just don't see, I just want the thrill. I don't want all the headaches of ownership for that. I would rather, like you said, put my money into real estate because I can always leverage real estate. I can live in it. I can rent it out. I can convert it. I can turn it into a bed and breakfast. I can do all kinds of things. But a car is a car is a car, and a car depreciates. you
Yeah.
know.
I kind of see that too. I see a lot of people say, "Hey, I want to buy a second home," and sometimes that might make sense if you can Airbnb it and it's a business and you're making money and you get to go there. But it's the same kind of thing. It just takes you away from um, the highest and best use of every freaking dime you earn. That should be
Yep.
a soldier going to work for you. I told you, we live in this beautiful dream home now. That was our one splurge, and we cashed out right into the craze and built this, and it's just an amazing setting in the forest that just goes on. I was actually going up my mountain to go rake. It's called Riker Peak. I was going to go raking on Riker, and I came across two bear cubs running up a tree a third of the way up my mountain, and I just took off back home because if there's two bear cubs, there's a mom. And I
Yeah.
am, yeah, I passed the Darwin test. I'm not going to take a picture. I'm not going to videotape. I just turned around and just got home. So, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Um, yeah. So just in closing of the presentation, so some of the people here, I hope are into the exchange to the next world. Some may be doing syndicates. A lot of you are rocking and rolling in your finances, and wherever you are, whether you're just starting out or well on your way, enjoy the ride along the way. And you may have heard me say while I was doing it, I was kind of a hard ass on myself. And I really, I looked at it like I was self-employed. So my boss, what if you work for IBM? You'd have a boss, he'd probably be a jerk. So I had that, it was almost like a joke, but it wasn't good. And just watch your self-talk along the way and be really gentle. And, I'm a lot more, grounded and spiritual now. I was like a bull in a china shop back in the day. Just really hard driving, and so enjoy the ride. The one thing that I did do was I never missed a parent teacher conference. I got to coach my kids in Little League, and if you're blessed enough to make your own schedule, you get to put the good stuff in life in there, and get away with your spouse every quarter, and do the planning, the long term, just get away and treats that make a life well worth living. And wherever you are, like when you're working, you're working. When you're on vacation, you're not working. You're on vacation, you know? So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I have a
it's
phrase I use. You're in the exchange part, which is you've evolved from trading time for money to trading money for time. Time being experiences and time with your relationships. Um,
yeah,
that's when you know you've turned the corner. And does it take discipline? It sure does. Does it take visioning and goal setting and planning? It sure does. But when you want it bad enough, when you're good enough is no longer good enough, and you're tired of the status quo. These are the things that everybody does that I've ever met at any level of success, higher than me, all have in common. And I'm so glad you're sharing this, Tim, because it's great for them to see this. From you and not just me, and maybe they'll see something similar from Pat next month, and they'll start to see the pattern developing here, and one of these days we'll see those guys joining us on the slopes at Whistler and Lake Tahoe, and
abundance. God bless big. Yeah. Yeah, it really is, and what's really cool, Gary, and you see it, is all the younger people that jump into our world, and the one that comes to mind the most is Diego or Sam Wiegert, who already were rocking before they came into our world, but
Yep.
now they never understood the business of your life piece, and you guys, it's much deeper than just the financial piece. There's also the environment, where and who am I spending my time with? How are my relationships? How is my fitness? Am I eating right? Am I exercising? Am I getting up early and doing Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning? And it's just once again a lifestyle. And people who come into our hemisphere and get dialed into what we're doing, just play their games full out more. And one of the pieces I'm most proud of that we've seen is the abundance piece, where we're helping the next generation of families. It's almost like a counterculture, Gary, of people who are taking action for their lives and playing their games full out, and not letting all the minutia that's going on in the world affect them, and just dialing into what really matters.
Yeah. Well, you hit the nail on the head. Everybody's probably the ears are perked up because you used terminology that we use like you're a different environment. So Juliet, hopefully you're still on. You were catching some of that from Tim. And I know we've got to have another strategy call, I think tomorrow, with Juliet, actually. Um,
Cool. If they have any questions about anything I talked about or anything in general, please
yeah.
have them ask them now. And if you don't mind, I'm going to give a quick commercial in the meantime about One Life Fully Lived and the event we're doing in Philly and stuff.
Oh, if you could do that, Tim, that would be great. Yeah.
Cool. And if anybody has any questions, I'm an open book. You can ask me anything. I just have nothing to hide. So One Life Fully Lived is our nonprofit. I'm also one of the founders of GoBundance, and GoBundance is very, very generous to our charity, One Life Fully Lived. And we're having a One Life Fully Lived event in Philadelphia on June 2nd and 3rd, where we're helping people right up the alley of what we're talking about. We'll have people like Pat Hyben, Jen Groover, Gary Jonas, Bob Wells, Sean Lowry, a lot of our East Coast GoBundance people and friends, just talking about how do you earn more, invest wisely, what do you do to get to these 5 steps of financial freedom. And it's about that. It's about also designing the next 5 to 10 years of your life through appreciative inquiry, which, Gary, I'm sure you've tapped into that through our GoBundance tribe. It's a methodology developed by John Berghoff, and Mike McCarthy will be facilitating this event. It costs $500. I do have a special code I'd offer your listeners.
Okay.
Yeah, let me make sure I get it right. I'm gonna look for that really quick. I'll have that for a sec. But anyway, it's gonna be just a really, really good event. People that go to our events, you meet incredibly successful people that are at them. It's really tight knit. You're probably sitting at lunch with Pat Hyben, and we all hang out pretty much for 2 days together, and it's just a wonderful event that'll with this discount, and I just found it. Hang on one sec. Team Family. So if you go to onelifefullylive.org and go to our Philly wealth building event, and when you register, you use the code Team Family. That gives you $100 off the $495 registration.
Okay.
And it's going to be a great 2-day event right there in Philly.
Hey, if you want to, Tim, go ahead and start to bring up another session and go to the website if you could, and show them the website and the event page. That'll help them a lot, and they'll have that, because I know there's a couple guys right in the area there that are students.
Yeah.
Daryl Murphy, Tom Slaterbeck, Bill Moreau, bunch of them.
Yeah.
Bunch of them.
Tell them. Yeah, these and if you guys get a group of like 5 or more, I can maybe take a little more off events.
Okay.
Yeah. So how do I get back on there?
Matter of fact, Daryl and Tim, or Daryl and Tom just both asked about that. So yeah, uh, I think you're getting a couple takers there, you know?
Okay. How do I share it again?
It should just pop up automatically.
Okay. So do you guys see that?
There it is. Yep, yep, we got it.
Okay. So yeah. So day one is going to be more about the wealth building. Day two is about designing your best life, and also we're going to spend a little time visioneering the next 10 years of One Life Fully Lived. And our just so you guys know, this is our business model is we help you crush your life. And this is who's going to be there, by the way. We help you crush your life so you can help us change the world. And the day before this event, we're doing what we call Dare to Dream for inner city Philly kids. We have these amazing presenters teaching our content, helping these kids figure out who am I at my core, what's my dream, what's my plan, how can I go make the best life for me based on where my talents and my passions are. So we get them thinking about it at a young age. So yeah, if you could check out more of One Life Fully Lived, please join our it's the number One Life, all one word, One Life community on Facebook. And if you check out onelifefullylived.org YouTube, you can pull up videos of our conferences, of our Dare to Dream program. And we have a vision of having this Dare to Dream program in schools, prisons, Boys and Girls Club, Big Brothers, Big Sisters, all these entities all over the country and all over the world in time, just teaching people how to dream, plan, and live their best lives. So we have big plans for all this.
Well, that's awesome because I tell you what, nobody ever rises to low expectations.
Yeah,
Right?
that's right. Yeah. So yeah, so that's all the information, and there's the link right there. And
Perfect.
so yeah. So
One
did
life.
any listeners have questions?
Yeah, I just want to repeat it. So it's onelifefullylived.org, and it's the number one, digit one, and then fully spelled out lifefullylived.org. And then you'll click on events, guys. And Tim, repeat the promo code too. It's uh,
Team family.
Team Family. Okay.
Yeah,
There it is.
family. Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah.
Okay. Team Family. All right. Let me check for questions here. Um, let's see. So Daryl's asking for information. I guess this is from Gift from Virginia. She's asking, I want to go to the event. If you have another people join, get 5 people's discount groups. Yes. So for those of you
Yeah, why
going,
don't you put a team together, try to get as many, and if you get 5 or more, I'll take 150 off. How's that?
there you go. So when you guys register, just put in there somewhere, um, Gary Wilson, My Investment Services. So Tim knows that where you're coming from. If there's 5 or more, you get an extra bump off the price there. That's pretty good. That's for a long weekend like that. That's an amazing price.
Yeah, it's all of our stuff is really good value. You'll get lunch on Saturday, dinner, gala dinner on Sunday night, and then Sunday you're on your own for lunch. But a bunch of us will go out together and stuff.
Yeah.
So
And what's amazing is everybody you showed on the screen, I know personally know them, like first name basis, emails, phone numbers. I speak to them regularly, other than Carolyn and Jen. Oh, sorry, Nick. Um,
yeah,
haven't met him, but the
yeah.
others,
Nick's
Pat,
new to
Sean,
us, but
Mike, Gary,
yeah,
Jonas, all of them.
yeah. Jen Gruber is an amazing entrepreneur. And the cool thing is, you guys, they hang out with us the whole time. It's not like they speak and then go away. It's just a
Yeah,
really, yeah. So,
yeah, good people. You know,
yeah.
and
Yep.
they're
Yep.
and they're and they're awesome. I mean, Gary Jonas is like, the stuff he does in Philly, investing wise, he just has that Midas touch, you know.
Yeah, I've gone on a tour of all the properties he's owned and built and developed there, and he's got an amazing um, just portfolio of properties that he's done. And you know, I brought all of these people on the stage for different reasons. Carol and Colleen has overcome incredible obstacles to get a business with multiple streams of income coming in after escaping an abusive relationship and being
Hmm.
a single mom. And everybody that we bring, you know, that to our events is for a reason. You know, they've got something to teach somebody else. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's very generous of you, and I appreciate you sharing that and offering the um, kind of reward them for taking action. You know.
yeah, well, what I would suggest is just in the comments, put where did you hear this? This is how we can do it. Is I heard it on Gary's program, and if that happens when you guys get to the event, we'll just give you $50 there. Okay, if there's
There you go.
five or more. And if not, you're getting 100 off. This thing should be, you know, we're doing an event with Berghoff and Jeff Hoffman next month in June that 20 plus people paid 4,000 to go to. So
Wow.
yeah, so our events are well worth it. You learn, grow, and connect with tuned in, turned on people that really care about their lives. They care about themselves. They care about new people that come into the community, making sure you feel welcome and making sure that you get something out of it. So you make, you know, new friends, new contacts that become lifelong mastermind buddies. And by the way, you guys, I met David Osborne and Pat Hyben at an event just like this in Chicago in 2004. And Gary knows, I mean, what a transformative that has been, a multi-million dollar connection of we own businesses together. We started GoBundance together. They're both very generous to my charity, you know. We all do things to, you know, it's just, these are the kind of things that change your world. And these are the kind of things that, you know, when I say, watch what's going in, what's going out, what's left to invest, I spent hundreds of thousands on my personal education and further education on getting somewhere with my life. And it made a difference for me. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree that the networking through the masterminds is it's really hard to put into words for people who haven't done it. It's one of those things just have to do it. Give yourself the opportunity, give yourself permission to do it so you can see what we experience at that level, you know, and then
Yeah,
experience it yourself. It's like when you see it in hindsight, rearview mirror, it all makes so much sense, you know. When you're looking at it from the front end, it's like, well, you can't fully comprehend the value in it. You just it's one of those things you've got to at some point, you know, believe what you see, have faith, take action, and you get to hang out with these guys, and it's meant the world to me too, Tim. Over the years, my gosh, Rock Thomas and Mike and you know Andy, you know Andrew Cushman. Of course, a lot of you've heard of him because I had interviewed him last year, and um, the list goes on and on and on. And nothing could be more valuable than actually spend time with people who are one or two or three levels above you, the levels you're aspiring to. It's just I can really I can probably in the last how many years will this be? The last 4 years, I can easily directly attribute about $2.3 million in income just to masterminds. You know, uh,
amazing.
amazing.
And what did they cost you?
Well, one of them, so Go Abundance, I can, it's okay if I tell them here live?
Sure, sure. I don't
Yeah.
care.
So Go Abundance is a bargain at 6,000 bucks. There's another one I'm in, the IS Elite, which is 30 grand. Another one is Speaking Empire, which is 50 grand. So
Wow.
including travel and, you know, meals, hotel, all that kind of stuff. I literally spend about 100,000 a year on me personally through masterminds. It's that valuable. it's worth it. I mean, it's just beyond.
Good for you. That's a
Yeah.
good number. Hey, by the way, go button says 7,000 to new members, just so you know.
Okay, sorry. I was one of those.
No, it'll always be 6 to you. We
Yeah.
just kind of tiered it up, but we are a bargain. You've seen, compared to us, and we love it. We just, we're not doing it. We're doing it to create an amazing tribe.
It is.
But yeah, that's such a good point. And I want to talk to some of you doubting Thomases that may hear this and think, oh, what a load. I had my brother who I never went to college. My brother got a master's in business, or got a master's, and just went the college way. And I talked him into having my niece come to this wealth building event. And my poor niece has like $50,000 worth of college debt and is not using what she had. And he just had the typical American way. Let's build another brick in the wall. That is just going through this. I got to go to college. Debt doesn't matter. There's only one way to do it. And some of you are from that school. And don't get me wrong, college is really, really good if you're going to be a pharmacist and you know what I mean. For people who know what they're going to do, it's great. But for far too many, it's debt. It's not a good road. And what we're about that's different is more of lifelong learning, and that it's a different way of educating yourself. And if so my brother was like, had a really tough time. I wanted him to pay for her flight there. And he was like, I know somebody that's in your community that hasn't done anything. They've been in the same place for 4 or 5 years. And I listened to him, and I haven't had a really chance to talk to him since, to tell him about how David Green was just on CNN. And when I saw David for the first time in a long time, and he first got back in our world 5 years ago, he was a cop working 105 hours a week. And now 5 years later, he's got an amazing real estate business. He's bought 40 rental properties, and he was just on CNN as a freaking expert in the world. And I could name 50 different people off the top of my head that are like that, whose lives have blown up because they're mindful about who they are, what their game is, how can they play it full out. And Gary, you said it earlier, how can I serve?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That's it.
That's it, dude.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. It's not complicated.
Yeah.
It's not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, but everybody listening to this, you're so worth it, and your life should have meaning. I hope you're living, you're as close to who you are put on this earth to be. And if you're not, you might want to have that same talk with yourself that I had with myself in 1997 when I was overweight, living in a place that was uninspiring. My career had its use-by date. I needed to revamp what I did, and I took a tough audit of where my life was, and I went inside, made major changes, and created the life of my dreams. And my wish for all of you is that you can create the life of your dreams, whatever that means to you, whatever your one life fully lived looks like.
Wow. Powerful words, man. I really appreciate that. And, we're getting a lot of good positive comments coming in, people saying they really want this. They want to be part of it. Jimmy Okinawa, Virginia, I'm working with him in my mastermind group. And in fact, we got a call tomorrow, I think, right, Jimmy? Yeah, we got a call tomorrow at 3:00. So he's a broker and wants to invest. So I'm going to get him into investing like ASAP, because I think he'd be a good addition to our group, Tim, going forward. He's just a great guy, big heart, big ambition. And I always say, give me people that play with heart, and I promise you, I'll give you a successful person. Got to have that ambition, that passion, that desire. You got to really, really want it. And everything else will fall into place. You just got to line yourself up with the right people. You can't keep hanging around where you're hanging around. You gotta You got to hang around with people who are at where you want to be if you want to be at that level. And this is how we do it, you know?
Yeah, level up. You're
That's it,
the,
man.
what is it? That you're the middle of the 5 people that you hang around with.
Yeah.
So if you can level up those 5 people, and by the way, Osborne is the master at leveling up. He's yeah, he does. He just keeps upping his game and the people he's running with, and now he's running with people that run billions of dollar hedge funds and stuff.
Yeah.
Been
Yeah.
fun to watch him. Yeah. And by the way, that's a good point. His One Life Fully Lived is way different than my One Life Fully Lived. He loves hanging out with those billion-dollar hedge fund people. I love hanging out in the hood with my buddy Will Little and helping young people that the underserved learn these basic skills. And that's what turns David Osborne on, besides his family and the other things that makes his life rich. And this is what makes my life rich,
Yeah.
is helping flip the switch on those that have this same entrepreneurial drive inside of them, but no one in their world knows it, so they can't teach it to them. They
Right.
don't know better. Yeah. So anyway, I really appreciate you having me on, Gary, and if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them and
Yeah.
help anyone.
Let's, yeah, I think we're good on the questions. And I just want to thank you personally. Everybody here is saying they're like a lot of thumbs up and head nods and yeses and thank yous. And so you definitely helped a lot of people tonight. It's just fun for me, Tim, just to catch up with you again. And I know we live on you're in Lake Tahoe area, and I'm constantly on the road. So it's great to catch up with a fellow brother every now and then, you know?
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. I hope y'all got a lot out of it. If you have any personal questions for me, I can be reached at tim@timrhode.com, RHODE, tim@timrhode.com. And I do hope we see at least a few of you, and if not many of you, at our Wealth Building Summit, June 2nd and 3rd in Philly. Take a chance on you. You can meet you'll meet Pat Hyben, but you can meet the Pat Hyben and David Osborne for you that's going to change your world.
Yeah.
So hope to see you there.
All right, Tim. Well, listen, have yourself a good night. I'll have Beverly send you a recording of this too. And for everybody
Yeah.
else, thanks for participating and giving us your valuable time. God bless you and your families. And we will see you. Next week's webinar is the 30th. The 30th, we'll be talking about referrals big time. Lots of 12 ideas for getting referrals. So thanks again, everybody, especially you, Tim. God bless all of you, and we will see you next week.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks again. Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.